The last diplomatic meeting, Ambassador Kate Davis stood in the gleaming conference hall of Nexus Station, humanity's final representative, at what would be the last diplomatic gathering in galactic history. Around the circular table sat delegates from the 5 major powers that had jointly decided humanity's fate: the proud Eagle Empire, the ancient Crystal Collective, the militant Red Claw Federation, the hive-minded Swarm Worlds, and the aquatic Blue Deep Alliance. The decision had already been made. Kate could see it in their faces, hear it in the whispered conversations that stopped when she approached. After 50 years of peaceful coexistence, the galaxy had concluded that humanity was too dangerous to be allowed continued independence. High Chancellor Wing of the Eagle Empire spoke first, his feathered crest rising with authority. Ambassador Davis, this council has reached a unanimous decision regarding your species. Humanity will submit to supervised development under galactic oversight or face immediate military intervention. Kate maintained her diplomatic composure despite the fury building in her chest. Chancellor Wing, humanity has never threatened any galactic power. We have honored every treaty, respected every boundary, and contributed to galactic prosperity for half a century. Why this sudden hostility? Crystal Speaker Bright pulsed with cold light as she answered. Your species' technological advancement rate is unprecedented. In 50 years, you have progressed from primitive spaceflight to technologies that rival our own. This rapid development threatens galactic stability. The real reason, Kate knew, was fear. Humanity had solved problems that had stymied galactic civilization for millennia. Human scientists had cracked faster-than-light communication, developed perfect energy storage, and created manufacturing techniques that made scarcity obsolete. Each breakthrough had made the established powers more nervous. Admiral Thong of the Red Claw Federation leaned forward, his scarred face showing barely controlled aggression. Human military capabilities are particularly concerning. Your defensive platforms and patrol fleets suggest capabilities beyond what any single-world species should possess. Kate almost smiled at that. If only they knew how little they had actually seen. Admiral, our defenses are purely for protection. We have never threatened. Silence, hissed Queen Mother Nest of the Swarm Worlds. Your protests are irrelevant. The decision is made. Submit to guidance or be forcibly pacified. The final speaker was Lord Depth from the Blue Deep Alliance, his aquatic suit gleaming in the station's lights. We offer this choice out of mercy, human. Accept supervision now, and your species will be preserved as junior partners in galactic civilization. Refuse, and you will be eliminated as a threat to universal peace. Kate looked around the table at faces filled with fear disguised as righteousness. These beings ruled hundreds of worlds and commanded fleets that could sterilize star systems. Yet they were terrified of one small blue planet on the galaxy's edge. I need to consult with my government, Kate said calmly. You have 24 hours, Wing declared. After that, the combined fleets will move to enforce our decision. Kate nodded and stood, her movements deliberate and controlled. As she walked toward the station's communication center, she felt the weight of history on her shoulders. The next few hours would determine whether humanity lived as slaves or died as free beings out in the secure communication booth. Kate activated the quantum entanglement transmitter that connected her directly to Earth. President Stone's face appeared on the screen, his expression grim but unsurprised. They've made their ultimatum, Kate reported. Submit or die. Stone nodded slowly. We expected this. How long do we have? 24 hours before they begin military action. Mr. President, they're bringing everything. 5 complete battle fleets, over 10,000 ships. The largest military force in galactic history. Good, Stone said, his voice carrying a cold satisfaction that surprised Kate. The more ships they bring, the clearer our message will be. Kate frowned. Sir, what message? We can't fight the entire galaxy. Stone's smile was sharp as a blade. Kate, for 50 years, we've played the role of the peaceful newcomers. We've been careful, restrained, diplomatic. We've hidden our true capabilities because we hoped coexistence was possible. What are you saying? I'm saying the time for hiding is over. When those fleets arrive at Earth, they're going to discover what humanity has been building in the places they never thought to look. Kate felt a chill run down her spine. What places? The places we learned to call home long before we reached the stars. Kate, deep underground, where our ancestors weathered ice ages and nuclear winters. The galaxy is about to learn that humanity's greatest strength was never our space technology. Stones. Image leaned forward, his eyes hard with deadly purpose. Return to Earth immediately. You'll want to be here for what comes next. And Kate, make sure you record everything. The galaxy needs to witness what happens when they mistake our peace for weakness. The transmission ended, leaving Kate alone, with the terrible certainty that humanity's hidden strength was about to reshape the galaxy forever. The gathering storm, the combined galactic fleets assembled in the void between stars, a sight that would have terrified any species in known history. 10,000 warships from 5 different civilizations moved in perfect coordination, their combined firepower capable of sterilizing entire solar systems. Admiral Rex of the Eagle Empire commanded the armada from his flagship Golden Talon, a kilometer-long dreadnought that had never known defeat. Around him, holographic displays showed the vast fleet spreading across space like a metallic constellation of death. Status report on fleet positioning. Rex ordered his tactical officer. Sir, all battle groups are in position. The Crystal Collective's shield ships form the vanguard. Red Claw assault vessels are positioned for planetary bombardment. Swarm fighter clouds are deployed for system patrol, and Blue Deep torpedo boats cover our flanks. Rex nodded with satisfaction. The plan was elegant in its simplicity. Jump into Earth's system, overwhelm their orbital defenses within hours, then demand immediate surrender. Any resistance would be met with escalating force until humanity accepted their new role as a supervised species. Time to jump? Rex asked. 12 hours until we reach the Earth system, sir. On the Crystal Collective mothership Eternal Light, Speaker Bright communicated with her fleet through pure thought transmission. Her species had dominated space warfare for 3,000 years, their technology refined through countless conflicts. The humans would learn that resistance to galactic will was futile. The Red Claw Federation ships bristled with weapons designed for planetary assault. Admiral Fang paced his command deck, eager for the coming battle. His warriors had conquered hundreds of worlds, and Earth would be just another trophy in their long history of victory. Meanwhile, in the depths of Earth's crust, humanity's true military might stirred to life for the first time in decades. Deep beneath the Sahara Desert, enormous doors that had been sealed for 50 years began to open, revealing facilities that stretched for kilometers into the planet's core. General Lake stood in the primary command center, 3 miles beneath the surface, watching as humanity's buried legions prepared for war. The cavern around her buzzed with activity as soldiers and technicians activated systems that had waited half a century for this moment. Status on the deep arsenal? Lake asked her aide. All bunkers reporting ready, General. We have confirmation. From the Pacific Deep Base, the Antarctic Underground Complex, and the Himalayan core facilities. Every installation is operational and awaiting orders. Lake smiled grimly. The galaxy had made a fatal assumption about human military doctrine. They had studied humanity's orbital platforms and space-based defenses, never realizing that Earth's children had learned to wage war from the deepest places imaginable. Activate the mole ships, Lake ordered. Throughout Earth's crust, massive tunneling vessels that had been sleeping in artificial caverns came online. These ships were humanity's most closely guarded secret warships designed to travel through solid rock as easily as space, emerging anywhere on the planet's surface to launch devastating surprise attacks. Captain Dan commanded one such vessel, the Earthshaker, from its bridge buried beneath the Rocky Mountains. His ship could tunnel through solid granite at incredible speed, using advanced matter displacement technology to create temporary passages through the planet's core. "Sir," his navigator reported, "we have clear tunneling routes to 17 different surface emergence points. We can be in position to launch within hours of receiving orders." Dan nodded, feeling the weight of his ship's armaments. The Earthshaker carried enough firepower to level a continent, all of it designed to emerge from places no enemy would expect. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest weapons had never left their home world. Dr. Smith, Earth's chief military scientist, monitored the global awakening from her laboratory beneath the Swiss Alps. For 50 years, her teams had refined technologies that pushed the boundaries of physics itself. Matter displacement, planetary-scale energy projection, and weapons that could turn a world's geology into instruments of war. "Are the tectonic cannons online?" she asked. Her assistant, "All installations report ready, Doctor. We can reshape continents if necessary." President Stone stood in the war room beneath Mount Weather, watching displays that showed humanity's true military strength for the first time in decades. His species had spent 50 years convincing the galaxy they were peaceful space traders. The deception had been perfect. "Mr. President," his military advisor reported, "all deep bunkers are operational. We have over 1 million soldiers in underground facilities that the galactic powers don't even know exist." Stone studied the tactical projections showing Earth's hidden defenses. The galaxy was about to discover that humanity had never abandoned the warfare principles that had carried them through millennia of conflict. They had simply buried them deeper than anyone thought to look. The broadcast begins. Ambassador Kate arrived at Earth just as the galactic fleets dropped out of faster than light travel at the edge of the solar system. From the observation deck of the orbital station Harmony, she watched 10,000 alien warships spread across space, like metallic locusts preparing to devour her homeworld. President Stone's voice echoed through every communication channel in human space as he began the broadcast that would be remembered for millennia. His words went out not just to the invading fleets, but to every listening post, every diplomatic station, and every intelligence network in the galaxy. "To the beings of the galactic community," Stone began, his voice calm despite the overwhelming odds facing humanity. "For 50 years, we have walked among you as peaceful neighbors. We have traded fairly, honored our agreements, and sought friendship with all species we encountered." Admiral Rex aboard the Golden Talon received the transmission. With dismissive contempt, "Typical human desperation," he told his bridge crew. "Begin standard attack formation. Their surrender speech can wait until after we've demonstrated our superiority." But Stone's next words carried a weight that made even hardened warriors pause. "We offered you peace because we remembered the lessons of our own history. We knew what happened when the strong preyed upon the weak, when fear drove civilizations to conquest and domination. We hoped the galaxy had learned those same lessons." In the depths beneath Earth's surface, General Lake watched tactical displays, showing the alien fleets moving into attack positions. "Sir," her communications officer reported, "the galactic forces are beginning their approach. Estimated time to orbital bombardment, 4 hours." Stone continued his broadcast, his words now carrying a harder edge. "You have chosen to mistake our peaceful nature for weakness. You have decided that humanity must be controlled because our growth threatens your established order. You believe that overwhelming force will break our spirit and make us accept subjugation." Speaker Bright of the Crystal Collective felt the first stirring of unease as she analyzed the human president's tone. There was no fear in his voice, no desperation of a leader facing inevitable defeat. Instead, there was something that sounded almost like pity. "You are wrong," Stone declared, and his voice now carried the full authority of a species that had fought its way up from caves and ice ages to touch the stars. Humanity has never been weak. We have simply been patient. The first sign that something was amiss came when long-range sensors detected massive energy signatures emanating from Earth's surface. Not from orbital platforms or space-based installations, but from the planet itself. What are those readings? Admiral Fang demanded as his tactical officer struggled to interpret the data. "Sir, I'm detecting enormous power sources across the planet's surface. And underground... The signatures go deep, sir. Very deep." Stone's broadcast continued as humanity's buried strength began to reveal itself. "For 50 years, we have maintained the fiction that Earth was our only stronghold. We allowed you to believe that our small orbital fleet and planetary shields represented our total military capability. Across Earth's surface, camouflaged installations that had appeared to be mountains, lakes, and forests began to transform. Artificial hills split open to reveal massive artillery positions. Peaceful-looking valleys became launch sites for weapons that had been hidden beneath carefully constructed landscapes. Captain Joe emerged from beneath Lake Superior in his submarine starship Deep Strike, a vessel designed to operate in water, underground, and in space with equal effectiveness. His ship was one of hundreds that had been waiting in Earth's depths for this moment. "Surface contact achieved," Joe reported to the underground command center. "All lake-based installations are operational and ready for engagement." The galactic fleets watched in growing alarm as Earth transformed before their eyes. What had appeared to be a lightly defended world was revealing defensive systems that stretched across entire continents. "This is impossible," Queen Mother Nest transmitted to her fellow commanders. "Our intelligence showed minimal military infrastructure. How did we miss installations of this scale?" Stone provided the answer in his ongoing broadcast. "You missed them because you made the same mistake every aggressor makes. You assumed that because we desired peace, we were unprepared for war. You forgot that humanity spent millions of years learning to survive in places that would kill most species." As the true scope of Earth's defenses became apparent, the galactic commanders realized they faced something unprecedented. This wasn't a conquest of a weak species by a strong one. This was a trap that had been 50 years in the making. Stone's voice carried across space with final terrible certainty. "You wanted to see our power. Very well. We offered you peace. Now you'll witness what we buried beneath our world while we waited for wisdom to prevail. Prepare yourselves. You're about to learn why humanity calls Earth home." The buried power awakens. The transformation of Earth from peaceful world to fortress planet unfolded with precision that spoke of decades of preparation. What the galactic fleets had believed to be their target's greatest weakness, being confined to a single world, was about to become humanity's greatest strength. From the bridge of the Golden Talon, Admiral Rex watched his sensors struggle to catalog the emerging defenses. Mountain ranges split open to reveal cannon installations the size of cities. Ocean floors erupted as underwater fortresses surfaced for the first time in 50 years. Even the polar ice caps proved to be camouflage for weapons platforms that dwarfed anything in the galactic arsenal. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, with barely controlled panic, "I count over 10,000 individual gun positions across the planet's surface. Each installation appears to be equivalent to a capital ship's main battery." Rex felt his confidence crumble. The humans had turned their entire world into a weapon deep beneath the Australian outback. Colonel Sarah activated the tectonic resonance array, a weapon system that used the planet's own geological forces as ammunition. Primary array online. She reported to General Lake. We can generate seismic events equivalent to magnitude 9 earthquakes anywhere within 50,000 kilometers of Earth. The Galactic commanders watched in horror as their sensors detected energy buildups that defied all known physics. The humans weren't just defending from their planet's surface. They were using the world itself as a weapon. Captain Max emerged from the Pacific Ocean in his dreadnought Leviathan, a ship that had spent decades hidden in the deepest trenches. His vessel was designed around a simple principle. If enemies came from space, attack them from places they couldn't reach or predict. Surface contact confirmed, Max reported. Deep Fleet is operational and ready for engagement. Across Earth's oceans, similar vessels emerged from hiding places that had protected them from any possible detection. Submarines that could operate in space, mining ships converted to weapon platforms, and exploration vessels that had been secretly armed with humanity's most advanced technologies. A sight that truly broke the Galactic commander's confidence came when the moon began to move. Luna, Earth's natural satellite, shifted in its orbit with mechanical precision. What the galaxy had assumed to be a barren rock was revealed as humanity's greatest engineering achievement, an entire moon converted into a mobile battle station. Impossible, breathed Speaker Bright, as her sensors detected the massive engines. That had been hidden beneath Luna's surface. They've weaponized their satellite. President Stone's broadcast continued as humanity's true power revealed itself. You wondered how a single-world species could threaten galactic stability. The answer is simple. We never limited ourselves to the surface of our world. Dr. Blue, commanding the Luna installation from the moon's core, activated systems that had been built over 3 generations. Lunar Defense Grid is operational, Mr. President. We have clear firing solutions on all hostile vessels. The moon's surface erupted with weapon installations that had been disguised as craters and mountain ranges. Mass drivers that could accelerate. Projectiles to significant fractions of light speed. Energy cannons that drew power from fusion reactors buried in the lunar core. Missile launchers that could saturate space with more ordnance than the combined galactic fleets carried. Admiral Fang of the Red Claw Federation realized with dawning horror that his proud warriors faced an enemy that had spent 50 years preparing for this exact scenario. How did they hide all this? Our intelligence networks are the best in the galaxy. The answer came from the humans themselves. Captain Steele, commanding the underground fortress beneath Mount Everest, explained to his crew as they prepared for battle. They looked for what they expected to find space-based defenses, orbital platforms, traditional military installations. They never thought to scan the depths of oceans or the cores of mountains. Lord Depth of the Blue Deep Alliance watched his tactical displays show Earth's transformation with a species of professional admiration. They've turned an entire star system into a fortress. Every asteroid, every planet, every moon serves a defensive purpose. The galactic fleets found themselves facing an enemy that had weaponized everything within reach. Asteroid mining operations became missile construction facilities. Scientific research stations revealed themselves as surveillance networks. Even the space debris that littered Earth's orbital zones was revealed to be camouflaged weapons platforms. Stone's final words carried across space with the weight of absolute certainty. You came here expecting to intimidate a weak species into submission. Instead, you've triggered the defensive systems of the most fortified world in galactic history. We gave you 50 years of peace. Now you'll see 50 years of buried preparation unleashed in a single day. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon had never been technology. It was the patience to prepare for the wars they hoped would never come. The price of underestimating humanity. The battle for Earth lasted exactly 17 minutes. Admiral Rex of the Eagle Empire opened hostilities by ordering a precision strike on what his sensors identified as Earth's primary orbital defense platform. The Golden Talon's main cannon fired with the fury of a small star, its beam lancing across space toward the human installation. The beam struck perfectly and disappeared harmlessly into what appeared to be empty space. What happened? Rex demanded as his weapons officer stared at impossible readings. Sir, the energy was absorbed completely. No reflection, no dispersion. It's as if the beam simply ceased to exist. From Luna's hidden command center, Dr. Blue smiled with cold satisfaction. Null field generators are working perfectly. Their energy weapons can't touch us. The second phase of the battle began when humanity stopped hiding and started shooting back. Earth's transformation into a weapon was complete in seconds. Every mountain range revealed itself as a massive gun emplacement. Every ocean became a launch platform for vessels that rose from depths no alien had imagined exploring. The planet's entire surface erupted with defensive fire that turned space around Earth into a killing field of energy and projectiles. Captain Max led the first wave of Earth's counterattack, his fleet of deep ocean dreadnoughts emerging from the Pacific like mechanical whales breaching the surface. His ships had been designed for stealth and overwhelming firepower, and they delivered both with devastating effect. Target the command ships first, Max ordered his fleet. Make them leaderless before they can coordinate a response. The human weapons proved to be generations ahead of Galactic standard technology, where alien ships relied on energy shields and armor plating. Human vessels used defensive systems that made them nearly impossible to target. Where galactic fleets used conventional weapons, humanity deployed devices that bent physics to their will. The Crystal Collective's vanguard simply vanished when Earth's tectonic cannons fired. The weapons used planetary-scale geological forces to project gravity waves that could crush matter at the molecular level. Entire squadrons of alien ships imploded simultaneously as fundamental forces turned against them. Admiral Fang watched his proud Red Claw warriors die in seconds as lunar missile swarms overwhelmed his fleet's defenses. The moon itself had become a weapon platform that could launch millions of projectiles simultaneously, each one guided by artificial intelligences that had spent decades studying alien combat tactics. All ships retreat. Fang screamed into his communications, his warrior's pride shattered by the reality of facing an enemy that had been preparing for this battle since before he was born. But retreat proved impossible. Humanity had planned for that contingency as well. From deep space platforms that had been disguised as asteroids for 50 years, gravity mines activated across the solar system. These devices created localized, space-time distortions that made faster-than-light travel impossible. The galactic fleets found themselves trapped in a system that had become their tomb. Queen Mother Nest of the Swarm Worlds broadcast her surrender on all frequencies as her fleet disintegrated around her. We yield. Humanity, we acknowledge your strength. We surrender completely. President Stone's response carried across space with implacable authority. Surrender was possible before you chose violence. Now you face the consequences of your decision. The slaughter continued with mechanical precision. Human weapons systems that had been hidden throughout the solar system revealed themselves and joined the massacre. Mining installations became weapons platforms. Research stations transformed into missile bases. Even the space elevators that connected Earth to orbit proved to be disguised mass drivers. Lord Depth of the Blue Deep Alliance watched his aquatic warriors die with something approaching wonder. His species had ruled the galaxy's oceans for millennia, but the humans had mastered underwater warfare on a scale his people had never imagined. Speaker Bright of the Crystal Collective transmitted a final message before her flagship exploded under concentrated fire from every human weapon within range. How did you know? How did you prepare so perfectly for this day? Stone answered her question in his final broadcast to the galaxy. Because we know what we are. We are the species that survived ice ages and asteroid impacts. We are the beings who crawled out of caves and decided to reach for the stars. We know that peace is temporary, but survival is forever. Of the 10,000 ships that had come to humble humanity, fewer than 50 escaped the solar system. They carried with them recordings of Earth's transformation and humanity's message to the galaxy. As the debris of the galactic fleets drifted through space around Earth, President Stone addressed his species one final time. We offered them peace. For 50 years. They chose war and learned why humanity has never been conquered. The galaxy would remember this day as the moment they discovered that some species are too dangerous to threaten, too prepared to surprise, and too patient to defeat. Humanity had buried their power deep beneath their world and waited for wisdom to prevail. When it didn't, they showed the galaxy why Earth's children had always been survivors first, and everything else second. Asterisk.